This is today's Tides program, where we dive deep into the contemporary global issues. Dear friends, listeners, and viewers of our channel, our YouTube channel, welcome to this morning show. I'm Jacques Behunde, and I'm privileged to have in our studios Mr. Jacques BOSCO. Jacques BOSCO, I have invited him for asking more information. I need some clarification on an announcement that has been in public for some weeks. And that announcement is about a festival on books written by Rwandans on their country, Rwanda. I'm going to ask Jacques BOSCO to introduce himself and say good morning or hello to our listeners, viewers, and our friends. Jacques BOSCO, how are you this morning, sir?
Yeah, thank you, Chaste Gehunde. Thank you very much. I'm well this morning. I mean, in Canada, Vancouver, it's almost like 12:42 or p.m. No, I mean a.m. of course, which means in your country it's about maybe 9:42. So in another word, I'm still at night. I'm still in the early morning. You are already taking your coffee, so that's why instead of drinking coffee. I'm just having water. I'm just having water because I cannot sustain, man. It's too late. So, in other words, I'm well, sound, and thank you very much for having me on this show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Jacques BOSCO, today we are going to talk about the festival on books written on Rwanda by Rwandans. What is it about, and how did you come up with that beautiful idea?
No, listen, actually, we came up with this idea together. So it was about when you were just having a show on the 30th anniversary of the Rwandan genocide, where I just showed you some or many books, and then you say, hey, why don't we do a festival? Why don't we do an exhibition of books written on Rwanda? And then say, hey, man, let's go ahead and do it. So that's how we came up with this idea of the festival on books written by Rwandans on Rwanda. And then it's actually a festival under which, of course, you and myself, you are represented by the Today's Tide, which is your radio and television show. Of course, I just initiated another radio and television called, people are just laughing on it. It's called The Man from the Moon, which means...
Exactly, Jacques BOSCO. If I may stop you, I need to. If I
let me finish, bro. And then, because we have invited, of course, I have to finish my sentence. Okay, bro. So we have invited Rwandan authors to talk about their books, of course, and mainly because it's an exhibition, of course, a festival, which means an open market, so they can at least sell their books. So that's the goal, right? So if you are coming to an exhibition or a festival or a market, an open market, what do? You just sell your books, right? So that's actually the festival about. It's just the festival on books written by Rwandans on Rwanda. We don't have at the moment books written on Rwanda by foreigners or by people from outside of Rwanda, unless you may be Mzungu and maybe have gotten a Rwandan citizenship or being naturalized. So in that case, you are Rwandan de facto, right? So if you are not among those criteria, so it means you are not eligible at this moment. However, in the subsequent, in the upcoming years or month, we'll also have another festival on books written on Rwanda by other people who are not Rwandans, so means foreigners. So if that makes sense to you, sir?
Yeah, thank you. And of course, you have answered a question that was arising from what you just said. Right. Which, of course, to see what are you reserving to the foreigners, because we have so many books, we have so many articles that have been written on Rwanda by non-Rwandans. So
can I give you some examples?
Look, yes.
Called the author is Judy River or Rever. Yeah. In Praise of Blood, the crime of the Rwandan Patriotic Front. So this one is not part of this festival. Let's give you another guy who wrote another famous or infamous book. His name is Brigadier General Romeo Dallaire with Major Brent, something like Beardsley. So Shake Hands with the Devil, The Failure of Humanity in Rwanda, the #1 national bestseller. This title, the #1 bestseller, is not true. Mine is the bestseller. And so just to give you a few samples, right? A few samples, right? Yes. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Then people are asking themselves, what is on the agenda of the day and when will that take place?
So that's very simple. Basically, with this new technology, especially or just social media, which came after the pandemic COVID 2019 or COVID-19. So everything's mainly worldwide on the social media called Zoom. So which means people will just follow this festival or exhibition on books written by Rwandans on Rwanda through the social media called Zoom, and they can also they will definitely or de facto follow it through your channel, which is called Today's Tide. Am I pronouncing it correctly?
Yes, it is Today's Tides program. Actually, it's a big program that is broadcast by me, by myself, on Gahundesha's YouTube channel?
Yeah, thank you for just elaborate on that, because most of the times we misunderstood or misspell people's channel. Like mine, people follow this program, the festival on the festival on books written by Rwandan on Rwanda, through also my new channel, which is called The Man from the Moon.
Yeah. But you said you wanted just to continue, but could you give me a minute just to ask you about that name? How did you come up with such a name? Actually, for myself, let me answer what you might ask me about today's tides program. Actually, today's tides, and you know, the tides in the morning, low tides. In the afternoon, there is a high tide. So I have observed that every day there are high and low tide. So I said there are changes every day. So that's why I came up with today's tides program, which means that every day there are changes. So how did you come up with the man from the moon? The moon, right. Are you the one who came from the moon, sir?
Basically, I live in the moon. It means in my mind, in my head, I just live on the earth, sometimes disappear and come back, which means when I do things, I do them effectively, and then I disappear for a while. I may be in studies, I may be in my jobs, I may be in doing other things, and then I reappear with good ideas. But that's not the idea, basically. The idea is when I was growing up, because I lost my mom when I was 4 years old, it means 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So my mom was 27 years old when she died, and there were 4 siblings aged from 5 months. Myself, I was 4 years, and my older brother was, of course, 6 months, because the birth control was within 2 years, and my older sister was 8 years old, and I'm sure she might have been suffered from that loss of my mother, my mom, and then whenever I was taken care by either my aunties or my other extended, or the cousins or my grandmothers, because you know in Rwanda you always have
large family.
Dad's mother, which is grandma, and then mom's mother, and then also extended sister's grandmother. So every single time they were just appeasing me to go to bed, they were all seeing the man from the moon. And that was almost from all of them. It was kind of, how do you call it? This kind of traditional counts, which means in Kinyarwanda, imigani. And then for me, they will say, oh, someone came from far away and he did some miracles and he disappeared. So that was Nyakwezi. He came far away. Nyakwezi wavuye kure. And then I just set up my mind that somebody who did miracles, resurrected people, and disappeared. So that's had to be me. Maybe the reason why I saved the lives during the tragedy of in 1994. So that's why the idea came in. And whenever I try to look for another title, it doesn't work for me. Even when I try to plan a book or a movie after my book, which is called Nobody Knows What Happened in Rwanda, Hope and Horror in the 1994 genocide, I came up with also another idea how I'm going to call my movie or my supposed upcoming or one day movie. It's called Men from Rwanda. You see, so something wrong in my head. But
yes. Well, I know that's just it is not the topic of the day. But I beg you 1 second again. I think our listeners and the viewers would love to see this. Just keep quiet and watch this, and I think people will love it.
Thank you. Let's see what you have as a surprise. This is The Man from the Moon, radio and television by Jacques BOSCO. This is the radio and television, The Man from the Moon by Jacques BOSCO. In The Man from the Moon we trust. This is The Man from the Moon, radio and television by Jacques BOSCO. This is the radio and television, The Man from the Moon by Jacques BOSCO. In The Man from the Moon we trust.
Thank you, Jacques BOSCO. I don't want any comment on that. No comment. We will wait on our viewers and listeners to make comments on that, because the topic of the day, we are talking about the festival on books written on Rwanda. Okay, so you have just answered. You said what is on agenda. It's a program, it's a festival, so it's a way, it's a showcase of books written on Rwanda by Rwandans. And we are recalling people that we might have another event just for foreigners who have written on Rwanda. Now, it is on 22nd of June this year. From what time again?
Okay, so thank you. I mean, anyway, you suggested that I don't comment on what I just saw, but thank you for that interesting or just surprising and a fascinating surprise. And thank you very much once again. I haven't seen it myself. I think I heard from some people it was out somewhere, but I didn't know how it was look like. But thank you very much. Now, yes, this is going to take place, as you just mentioned, on 22nd June of this year, 2024, which means in almost like 1 week and a half also. And it's going to be around from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. That is Central European time, means Brussels, France, Germany, even in the Scandinavian countries will be the same time. Switzerland, of course, is included, except Russia, maybe, which is 2 hours 2 hours ahead or before. And then the time will be the same time in Rwanda and Burundi, because Rwanda and the city of Kigali, the capital of Rwanda, and Bujumbura, we are always quoting each other. So we are always neighbors, friends, brothers, and actually we are, let's say, how do you call it? Twins, twins country. And yes. Then we be in my time here in Vancouver, Canada, will be early morning around 6 a.m. Of course, I will be ready because I was born to always be ready. Why I'm always ready? It's because the world does not sleep. So that's why JJ BOSCO does not sleep. Maybe that's why I'm the man from the moon. Good. And then in Australia, areas, cities like Sydney will be almost like 11 a.m. or midnight. In other area of Australia. Remember, Australia is a country, is a huge country. It looks like a continent, like Canada. When I'm in Vancouver, it's gonna be 6 a.m. in the morning. It will be in the cities of Ottawa, the capital of Canada, and also Montreal, the Canadian cultural and business city, will be also 9 a.m. And if you go down to New York, it will be also 9 a.m. While in Louisiana, like Baton Rouge city will be, because Louisiana used to be a French country in the USA. and then they traded with the Guyanas, and then USA kept Louisiana, which has always been like a French city and a French province in the within the USA. So that's the time, or we can just mention about.
Yeah.
And
yes. I think to make it much easier for people,
right.
it's like we give two references so people can refer to on that. If we say, for example, 3 p.m. in Paris and Brussels on Central Europe, and in Rwanda and the Burundi, then we say it will be 9 a.m. Vancouver or in Quebec also. So we shall see how to make 2 or 3 references so people can refer on that and try to search for the time on their area of living.
So if I understand you correctly, so let's tell people, let's say our followers, let's tell to our friends, our supporters that it's on June 22nd, 2024, in 1 week and a half. And then in a European continental, which means Central Europe, will be 3 p.m. in the afternoon. And then in Vancouver will be 6 a.m. While in the Eastern Canada and USA will be 9 a.m. So let's also remind people from Australia, mainly in Sydney, will be around 11 p.m. That's like a good summary.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. So that is fine. So let's talk about registration, because I have already registered so many people who are interested in this idea, who want to participate. They are saying they are encouraging us actually to continue with that idea and to come up with a similar project that promotes the love of the book, the love of wisdom, and so forth. So what do you want people to do for them to be able to register or to come up or to come and join you during this festival?
Okay, so perfect. So in terms of attendance and registration, we have those authors who actually we have requested for them to register upon 30 euro, means the currency in Europe, the currency in the European Union. And then if they are in the United States of America, will it be $40. Canada will it be $50, and then Australia and Asia will be $40, of course. And in Africa, those authors or people who wrote books, they can just register for 15 euro, because this is given the life, the cost of life in each country or in each area of the world. So for those authors, you can even say like Immaculata Mukamugema is one of us. Immaculata Mukamugema, she wrote a book, of course, in French, but she can present either in English, French, or Kinyarwanda. We have here Zamora Akokajipomoko. So that's the Moimoile Félicité. She's gonna take part in this festival. I do have also Emmanuel Neretse, Grandeur et décadence des forces armées rwandaises. He can also present in either language. Of course, if I mention some, I should also be fair and say, okay, so this is like our senior André Sebatware, Rwengeri Territoire du Rwanda, jadis hier aujourd'hui. It's another book. If I pronounce the French in English, people are just going to bear with me, of course. And then we have Karori Ndereyehe Ntahuntuye, parce que je suis d'origine rwandaise. I should know how to pronounce the Rwanda's names. We do have also here, it's called a book from Rwanda, Le fait du mensonge and de l'injustice. That's written by Augustine Ngirabatware. So we have also these books like here, that's lucky, it's Jeanne Habyarimana, My Dad, My Vital Part Taken Away. And we do have also this gentleman, Celestine Nsengiyumva, African Great Lakes Countries from Independence to Deception and Instability, that we are lucky to have that in, of course, English right away without any translation. And we do have also from the same author, Celestine Nsengiyumva, Rwandan conflict? Have we reached the dead end? You can even see there is a, oh, hey, do you mind to wait for a moment? Okay, I can grab also this one for Mr. Rugomboka. It's called Pro Justicia Rwanda, carte de site du génocide et des massacres au Rwanda. This gentleman also is willing to share this book with you in English. And if you remember, there is also another author who wished to talk about his book in English. His name is Bakunda Ichicharo. Before you just say, you just name his book, I want to also remind people there's also Eugene Ndahayo. So you can also mention the names of their books. And there is another gentleman who just called me today, say, hey, JJ, Jean-Jacques, do not miss out my book because it's very important. You also put myself on the list. His name is, one moment, please, Habakurama Joseph. He lives in Canada. And then, oh, I was about to omit or forget the gentleman's names, Mugenzi, René Clauder Mugenzi.
Yes, it's René Clauder Mugenzi.
And before you just name the book written by this gentleman, Eugene Ndahayo and Bakunda Ichicharo. Oh, I was about to forget also Dr. Eugene Guamucho, or Guamucho, je sais pas, I don't know how to say. And this gentleman also, Jean Kambanda and Ferdinand Nahimana. It's possible I may omit other names because this was not on our show, but at least we tried our best. So go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you very much. Actually, amongst our other authors who will be with us that day on the 22nd of June this year, we have Pierre Celestin Bakunda Ikicharo, who's a professor in France, on his very beautiful book called Rwanda, l'enfer des règles implicites. So that was a very interesting book for people who need to understand actually the sociology of Rwandans. And again, we talked about Eugene Ndahayo, who has written a book, a very interesting book also for people who would like to know our history. The book is titled Pierre Claver Ndahayo, Mon Père, pionnier de la révolution rwandaise. Those are a few authors who will be with us. And thank you very much for just giving us a snapshot of what will be happening that day. And unless you have some few words to add on this,
yes, please,
show.
Please. Forgive me, and I believe these authors will also forgive me. I was about to omit Dr. James Gesana, the man I respect very much. He wrote a book called Rwanda du Parti État à l'État garnison, and this dear fellow citizen and senior Benda Lema Francisco Menya Urwanda, and also our fellow dear brother and priest Fortunatus Rudakemwa, amateka y'u Rwanda igihumbi magana cyenda mirongo itanu na karindwi igihumbi magana atandatu mirongo cyenda na kabiri, and this nice and beautiful.
You are on mute, sir.
Oh, this nice and beautiful lady, Marie-Fidèle Mukandekezi, 3 vies contre 3 paquets de cigarettes. And also, I had a couple of books here for people. They say you can also mention as. That was, oh, I have that here. It was for Emerance Kaijuka. That was... Also on my menu, I may omit, I may put it somewhere else, but however, it's fine. And then I want to say, if Marie-Béatrice Umutesi, who wrote Fuir or Mourir au Zaire, would have a chance to listen to this show, she should come up and also present her book, including, of course, Emmanuel Ndahayo and Aimable André du Fatanye, La violence politico-militaire contre les femmes au Rwanda, parce que these people had written a great book or books. And there is also Suivre par la parole. This was written by Ribara Waruraye. So this is a group of people, and I took part on this book as well. And there is our fellow Faustin Hidikina, Rwanda, les Forces Armées. This also was a good book. So these fellows, including, of course, Beatrice Bichamumpaka, probably they are not aware of this exhibition. So whoever would come across them or encounter them somewhere in the corner should tell them, please join us, because we have a good offer to them or for them. So now go ahead, sir. Sorry, I took too much time, but
no, it's okay. It's fine.
I'm excited. I'm excited, man.
Yeah. But it's really exciting. It's an exciting idea, and the festival of this kind is just the first in our culture. We didn't see a similar event as such. So that's why everybody should be interested and excited about it. That's why I have invited you actually to share with us what will be on the agenda and how people may register to take part into this. So now, before closing this morning show, I would like to thank you for being here, and I'm thanking also our viewers and the listeners, and reminding them that the comments are welcome, ideas are welcome, and of course, any other kind of contribution is welcome. Any kind and any cash contribution is welcome as well. So on that, thank you very much, sir. Let's close this show by the beautiful song.
Actually, there's something we cannot omit to mention. Our contributors, those people who have given small donations, we owe them respect, and we are indebted to them. And thank you for allowing me to do that final remark.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. We cannot miss that opportunity. Of course,
their names will be written in the history of the first festival on books written on Rwanda in 2024 on June 22nd.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Uzamenya gusoma mu Rwanda, uzafatikara mu Rwanda, uzatsura umubano mu Rwanda, uzahuruza amahanga rwibandagaze ruhagaragaze ibyiza rusoze neza. Uzamenya gusoma mu Rwanda, uzafatikara mu Rwanda, uzatsura umubano mu Rwanda.
This is today's Tides program, where we dive deep into the contemporary global issues. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Goodbye. Today's Tides. Today's Tides.